Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story. It's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. I am ready for Monday. How many of you are ready for Monday? Well, you know, Mondays are what we call Motivational Mondays. And not only is today a Motivational Monday, but it is the day that we're going to discuss and talk about motivation and how it really can move the needle in our lives. Jocelyn knows this. You know, a word about Jocelyn, right, who's already showed up. And hello, Francesca. I got to meet Francesca in person. It was really fun. But Jocelyn, one committed woman. What she does in order to get things done is really quite incredible. And I want to just acknowledge that, Jocelyn, and say my hat is off to you. You're incredible. And she's had great success on the sprint, which is now starting this week, by the way. It's a free program. If you don't have it, go to savingdinner.com/sprint. So it's pretty crazy how these things can move the needle in our lives. A free thing. Who would have thought? Martha's in the house. So's our Carla, and so's our Vanessa. Isn't that so fun? I'm so glad to have you all here. Big hugs to you, Jocelyn. Good big hugs to you. I was kind of hoping you were going to be here for full bloom, but there's always next year. Anyway, Martha is my girlfriend from, well, we haven't met in person, but she's from my neck of the woods in Southern California. Whittier, hello. If you want to go grab the sprint, it's easy to do. Just go to savingdinner.com/sprint, and all the information is there. And maybe we've made it too easy. I don't know. But there's a webinar. There's a whole printable document for you. And I'm telling you, it can change your life. And if you don't believe me, there's a whole bunch of women you can ask, including our friend Flynn. Hello, Flynn. I'm glad you're here. So I've been asking myself questions. There's my girl Paige on her treadmill doing her thing. You know, even if you are at work or whatever and you're thinking, oh, I wish I could do a treadmill too. Okay, how about doing some high knees or even a bunch of 4-minute workouts back to back? I'm just telling you, there's always options. There's always options. But I love that Paige has made a date with me to have a little time on the treadmill. I like that. That's really good. So I did a thing today. This morning, I put Lincoln off and I make him wait till about 10, 11 o'clock before I will take him on his walk. I was so glad I got it done early. He stopped nagging me and took a nap. So it's sort of like having a 3-year-old who's, the whining. He whines incessantly. He's got me trained. That dog has me trained, so Hello, Tracy. I'm glad you're in the house. Alice, Sue, Juanita, and there's our girl Tanya. Love it. Yeah, Tanya's sprinting. You'll see her posts. She's holding the torch. She's getting things done, y'all. I want you to do the same thing. Get things done. We have, I've kind of alluded to the fact, those of you who are in Rising Tide, I've been talking about this a little bit. I have a secret project that is in the works, and I am the one and only guinea pig for, and let me tell you, it's a winner. So just be prepared. We are going to announce it a little bit early. It will debut toward the end of the year, but we will announce it early and we will do testing on a certain group of people. But boy, you're going to have to want it. That's all I have to say, because I will hold you to it. We will do it not perfectly, but excellently. But if you're going out of town and you're not sure you can do it, whatever, but I need a test group of women, and I'm going to take 25 women only to do this. Yes, it will cost you money. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Let me tell you exactly why. My free sprint program, which I think is one of the most effective most needle moving programs on the planet is free. How many people are using it? How many people just say, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, and they're all about it? Well, I just believe that when we put our money where our mouths are, sometimes we are a little bit more serious about it. So, and by the way, I'll take donations if you want to give me money for the sprint. I'm just saying. So my new one though is I'm loosely calling it in my mind the ultra sprint. But I will tell you, I've taken some new information that I've been, deep diving into on PubMed, and we're taking this all the way to the next level. And I'm going to tell you, it's so darned effective. So I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to share it with you. But it's coming. It's coming. Amber says she's glad to be a guinea pig. Well, good, Amber, because we are all good. I'm guinea pigging right now. I'll share it with you in our sales meeting. We have a weekly sales meeting, staff meeting. I'll share it with you. It sounds great. Shelly, Ann, I'm so glad that you're here. Jackie's in the house as well. We've got our lovelies. And so what can get better than that is having the lovelies aboard. We're also going to bring in new TikTok. We're going to bring our TikTok folks in. All kinds of stuff happening on TikTok. By the way, get on TikTok and follow @SavingDinner. We've got some videos that are blowing up. We have some other ones that could use some love, and I would love you to do that. You're available for the trials? All right, Tracy, good job. One thing, our quote of the week is so good. Jim Rohn. This was a cosmic 2x4 for me, I think in 2015. One of the things that made me say, I'm going to take back my body. And I'm going to share all of that with you too later on in the year, because that was one of my original programs called Take Back Your Body. When I just had this epiphany that if I don't take back my body, nobody's going to do it for me. Nobody's going to come in and rescue me from my fatigue and my pain and my frustration with myself and my consumption of thought over either what I was going to eat or what I was not going to eat, or how I was going to punish myself, or if I was good or if I was bad. Do you know the drill? That's exhausting. That's the carousel of crazy, by the way. And it's where a lot of us choose to live, and that's where the diet culture pushes us. And I say no to that. No, thank you very much. So I'm just letting you know what's up about that, because taking back my body was how I took back my life, because this is the only vehicle you're going to get. And that is because Jim Rohn, in this fabulous quote of the week, says, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. And I will also add that it's also your vehicle. It's the only thing that's going to get you around from place to place. So when you think about it, and when you're doing the work, like Paige is doing the work right now on a treadmill, when you are doing these kind of things, you are saying to your body, yes, please, more health, more wealth, because that is what truly makes us wealthy, is having our health. Isn't that the truth? Ask somebody who doesn't have their health. And there's so many studies that go to promote this. I'm following this guy on TikTok who is all about Alzheimer's, and it is fascinating, the stuff that he has. And by the way, if you take quercetin, which or some people say quercetin, I don't know, quercetin, whatever you want to call it. I think we're out of it now, but we used to carry it, and start taking it at night. This is when the DNA repair is done. And I also did a deep dive on restorative sleep. And let me just tell you something right now. You're not even, I've always been kind of tough on night owls. If you are a night owl, you are abusing your body. Okay? That's all I have to say. There's no restorative sleep happening. You're not scrubbing your brain from all of those plaque and all the other garbage that's in there. You don't do it. So if you have fuzzy thinking and you're a night owl and you're saying, but I'm getting 8 hours sleep. Sorry. Yeah, I know. I'm going to get really rigid about those kinds of things, because these are things that are easily fixable in our lives. We just have to shift a few things. And that's my biggest mission. I was thinking about this weekend, and Patsy's in the house as well. Kathy, hello. Juanita, hi. Corliss, Doris, good grief, it's Monday. Everybody's in the house. was thinking about this weekend too, and that is that my mission is to be able to speak to each woman individually and say to her, your life is only just beginning. I don't care if you're in your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, or beyond. Your life is just beginning when you make a decision that it is. When you're caring about yourself, heart, mind, body, and soul, that's where we can find everything happening in our lives. Sue, I haven't turned it on yet. I haven't turned on TikTok yet. So I'll let you know. You always watch me. I do the same thing every time. So I say, so let's bring on TikTok. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. And hello, TikTok. That's what I do. So I'm going to do that right now. So you want to talk about motivation? Who has all the motivation in the world and it just keeps coming? It just oozes out of your pores. Anyone? No, is probably the answer to that. And you know why? Because motivation is a tough subject and I've got a lot to say about it. So let's get busy. Let's bring TikTok on. Was my bloop, bloop, bloop. I talked a lot this morning. Hello, TikTok, and hello, Saving Dinner. Saving Dinner, everybody on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to get busy and we're going to be talking about motivation today because motivation is a lot of times the secret sauce to getting things done. However, our biggest mistake when it comes to motivation is our biggest needle mover on all of that is that motivation comes after the fact that you do something. It doesn't come before. Keep that in mind. Plant that little plumb line right there, and let's get busy on all this good stuff here. Okay? I am now live on TikTok, by the way, for those of you who follow me there as well. Hey, guys. So I want to give you something to think about here. Joanne's in the house as well. What if your motivation is there and you just don't know about it? What if you're barking up the wrong tree? What if you're looking in the wrong places? What if you think that motivation is something that just magically appears for some people and for other people, they're just SOL? Huh? What about that? I've got news for you because motivation is already there. It's already inside of you. Every single person has all of a sudden found themselves motivation to get something done when it wasn't there before. Let me give you an example. What if your house was a disaster and you got a phone call from your mother-in-law saying, oh, guess what? We went to such and such. We're only an hour away. How about if we just stop by? Would you just say, oh, I'm just not motivated to clean up, so I think I'll just not do it, and have her come over and see that your house is a pit? Of course not. You're going to run your fanny bone off and you're going to get it all done. That's my whole point, is that motivation, your motivation that was in there, it all of a sudden just got lit up like the 4th of July. Am I right? Can anyone relate? Of course you can. We've all had outside, what we think is outside motivators, light us up inside. And that's my whole point, is that the motivation that you have inside may be laying dormant because maybe you're waiting for something to light you up. And my point is, don't do that, because there are other ways to drive motivation. And we always have to look at it and think, what if I already have it? What if it's already in there? What if it is something that I just need to poke at a little bit? Think about it this way. Dorothy already had what she needed when she was trying to get herself back to Kansas, right? This is what Glenda the Good Witch said to her. She says, you already have what you need. It's an inside job, basically, is what she said. You've always had the power. You just had to learn it for yourself. Let me say this. We all have the power. We all just need to learn it for ourselves. We all need to understand that the power within is the power of motivation. And that is enough to motivate us. And just even when we don't want to, motivation doesn't mean that we're necessarily just going to jump out of bed and say, yes, I want to go clean that toilet today. Not necessarily. Sometimes It's just a matter of saying, you know what? I maybe I'm not feeling over abundantly wet, but I'm motivated to keep my house clean and tidy because it's easier that way. I'm motivated to do X, Y, and Z because it makes me feel better. Connect the why on why you want something. And believe it or not, you will poke that sleeping bear of motivation and it'll start to come a little bit clearer. So I say motivation always is an inside job. Sometimes it just needs to be poked. And you know what else that Glenda said? And this is something that I think we can also take to the bank. And it's this: it's always best to start at the beginning. And all you do is follow the yellow brick road. And I'm going to say this: we all have yellow brick roads, all of us. So now that we know where to find this motivation, that it's inside of us, that it's not outside running around, waiting to knock on your door or whatever, now that we understand all of that, what do? We have to take direction, don't we? All of us need to take direction. Do you know of a single solitary soul that doesn't need direction in their lives? We all have GPSs now in our cars. Have you noticed? And doesn't that give you such peace of mind to know that you could tap something into that GPS and figure out where you're going, even if you're lost, because your GPS knows where you are? Isn't that so cool? It gives us such a peace of mind. This is exactly what motivation is. It always knows where you are, and it can always take you to where you want to go. All we have to do is type in where we want to go. That's how we get there. And remember, I'm all about getting goals done. All about it. When you have goals, you have results because you are working your way towards something. We have the Take Back Your Life journal. You can find that at savingdinner.com/journal. And we're working our way through that with our Rising Tide group, which is closed already. But the point is 12 weeks to get results of something that you want. Where do you think the motivation is going to come from? That timeline, that 12-week timeline. It's not like a year where you can just sit there and go, well, whatever, and maybe so. But no, it is happening. Game on. Let's get her done. And when that happens, then we recognize and we realize that direction's right there. We just need to tap into it. So there's some mechanics then for self-motivation. I've got 7 for you. You ready to get going with them? Number 1 is make a list of everything that needs to get done. Now, I call this a brain dump, just letting it all hang out. Don't worry about categorizing it. And some of these things are not even going to make it to your immediate list. Some of these things are just stuff that's been brewing in the back of your head. My whole philosophy is that when we have all that stuff in our heads and it's just sitting there nagging us and we don't take the time to write it down, then what happens is that that's going to take up a greater proportion of our brains. And we need to empty that stuff out so we can fill our brains with solutions instead of problems. That's how we get solution oriented. We've written it down. We acknowledge it. There it is, and there's a whole brain pinch your, finger thing when you're writing everything out by hand. Always write things out by hand. It makes a better connection with your brain. You're going to start thinking, I promise you, the solutions that you come up with are incredible. It's something you would have never thought of. And think about this for a minute. Have you noticed that when you start to write things down, things start to get done a whole lot better than if you didn't? Number 2, one of the big things that I do, and I could show you right now on my calendar, except there's a big bunch of stuff on top of it, and that is to treat your what it is that you need to do like a doctor's appointment. Actually schedule time for it. When you start scheduling time for things that you need to get done, then oh my goodness, you're going to find direction. Not only are you going to find direction, you're going to find the motivation. Not only are you going to find the motivation, boy, oh boy, you're going to get the reward, the dopamine reward from doing the thing that you said you were going to do. You will find that you're dependable. You will find that you keep promises that you made to yourselves. And let me make you understand something. This is so important. And this is something that hit me like a cosmic 2x4. Breaking little promises to yourself means that all along, then you start to not be able to trust yourself. You don't trust yourself. And if you do not trust yourself, guess what happens? You find that you're not available for the next big thing and you can't figure out why. So these little things that we do and that we write on the list and that we cross off, let me tell you, at the end of the day, when you have a list that's all crossed off, you're going to feel like, hey, I can get things done. I can move the needle in my life. I am motivated. Dopamine hit every time you check something off. And the motivation to keep going, it just adds to the momentum. Motivation and momentum, that's where the magic is. That's where the magic is. Number 3, take 1 minute to just start your brain dump. Just take 1 minute. That's all I'm asking you for. 1 minute and see what happens. And watch as you start to do this, you'll start making deals. Well, okay, yeah, I can do this one. Or yeah, I can do that. I can get this one thing done. It's amazing what happens. There's the motivation there, sneaking its way in. You see how it does that? Number 4 is get me on this, right? Your feelings shouldn't be in charge of you. If we all just did things by feelings, probably half the people in our lives would be dead. No, I'm just kidding. You know what I mean? We would be we would be in trouble. We'd probably be writing, letters in prison or something. We can't be motivated by our feelings or motivated to action by our feelings either. We need to understand that feelings are fleeting. They should not be in charge. Feelings are fleeting, just like emotion, just like everything. They come, they go, and that's it. Number 5 is that if we focus on solutions, not the problems, we're going to conserve energy. It is mentally fatiguing to think continually on and on and on and on and on and on about a problem. When we think on a problem, we are actually worrying about a problem. The problem will be there. Take the problem, set it aside and say, okay, let's be solution oriented. What do I need to do? What do I need to start on in order to get this thing handled? Because the more time we spend on worry, the more time we say that we don't have a solution, that we're incapable, and that, worry, 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 worry. What does worry do for you? Worry does nothing except eat away your time and erode your confidence in yourself and light fear on fire. Worrying is just a very bad habit. It needs to go. And even if you only worry a little bit, that's like smoking a little bit. Is smoking a good habit ever? Well, only if you smoke a little bit. No, it's not. It's never a good habit. Get rid of it. Dismissed. Yeah? So remember that. Focus on solutions, not the problems. This is where the creativity comes from. You can't do that when you're all focused on problems. It doesn't work. Number 6, food is information and it's directly going to influence you. Remember what happens? You can inflame your brain or you can cool it down. You can feed it or you can stifle it. Food is information. So make sure that what's on the end of your fork is something that's genuinely going to feed you heart, mind, body, and soul. I promise you, you'll feel better about yourself, always. Number 7, eat your frogs first. Mark Twain very famously said that when you have a lot to do every day, eat the frog first. And if you have way too much to do, then eat the ugly one first. So in other words, what he's saying is that do the hardest thing that you have to do first. Get on that. Sometimes that's something that you just want to procrastinate and push off. But I'm going to tell you something, that underneath that procrastinated task that you don't want to do is your motivation. It's under a pile of papers right here. That's where it's sitting. And once you get going and once you get started, anybody pinkies up on this one? Have you noticed how much better you feel about yourself and how much more momentum you have and that it just keeps going? That's the beauty of momentum that is encouraged right along with motivation. So remember this, that motivation is as fleeting as feelings. They come and they go. You know what motivates you. And what I'm trying to do is to stop the speeding train here and make sure that you're not going to be motivated by something really negative. Like somebody, like a doctor is sitting across the desk from you and saying, I got some bad news for you. or that you get that you're so tired and so sick and tired of that you can't do the things that you used to be able to do, or that you're, that you get a photo back and you're thinking, oh my gosh, is that me? And yes, ma'am, it is you. We don't want that kind of motivation. We want motivation that doesn't make us fearful, but takes us to the place of courage and takes us to the place of, yes, I can do that. And yes, I can be more. And yes, I am called to such a life as this. I am living here on purpose and for purpose. Be motivated by that. Be motivated by the fact that you have been tapped on the shoulder and you have been called by name to be here, right now. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't you ever, ever forget about that. And I want to say one more thing. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Because when you do that and believe in yourself, you're going to start living your life a whole lot more excellently. Not perfectly, because perfect doesn't exist this side of glory, but you're going to find yourself committed, recommitted. You're going to find yourself connected. You're going to find yourself open. You're going to find yourself willing, and you're going to find on the other side of that the life that you so desperately want. It's not off there in the distance and only available for some. It's available for all. And all you got to do is start taking yourself to the next place. The next place. Now, I have a workshop coming up. Have you seen it? It's our Cravings, Stop the Cravings workshop. The Stop the Cravings workshop, I'm so excited about it. I'm going to bring everything I know about cravings to the forefront. I've shown, we've had viral videos, millions and millions of views, people watching me with the L-glutamine on TikTok and here as well, and on Instagram. L-glutamine is one of the best ways that I know to cut cravings off right at the knees, but there's more. There is so much more. And I can't wait to share all of it with you. It's coming on October 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern. You're going to have to sign up for it. You're going to have to open your wallet for it, because this is the ticket. Go get it now. savingdinner.com/cravings workshop. I think on YouTube, I think we have a bad link there, Jenny, for Saving Dinner on YouTube, on Facebook. It's savingdinner.com/cravings workshop. I hope you're going to be there, because this is really going to be so helpful. Mana I can't say your name, Pasul. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And if there's anything that I can ever do for you, you can always reach out and ask for help. I'm available for you here. Support@savingdinner.com, and I will take care of you. That's a promise. Peace be with you. I'll see you shortly. Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll be here. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.